Right now, a single kit of computer memory costs more than a PlayStation 5, not a whole PC, just the RAM. That same kit sold for about 180 bucks last spring. By winter, it was over 700. So when Valve announced the new Steam machine this week at $1,049, nobody watching this market was shocked. Annoyed? Sure. Surprised? No. But the part that should bother you is this: Valve didn't get greedy. They wanted to sell this thing for around 750. Something added $300 to the price between the announcement and the launch, and it had almost nothing to do with the people who built it. Somebody else spent your money for you. Let's find out who. First, a quick look at what you're actually buying, because it matters for the story. The Steam machine is a little cube, about 6 times more powerful than a Steam Deck, a AMD Zen 4 processor, RDNA 3 graphics, 16 gigs of memory, and it plays your whole Steam library in 4K on your TV without you ever touching a keyboard. It's a really nice piece of kit. But the parts inside are mid-range. The graphics are roughly an RX 7600, a perfectly fine, very ordinary card. And the uncomfortable bit is this: you can buy a normal pre-built PC with those same parts right now for somewhere around $900 to $1,200, and it'll often be more powerful than the Steam machine. So this isn't Valve charging a premium for something special. They're charging a lot for something pretty average. The question is, why they have to? The obvious villain is Valve. It's their logo on the box. So let's clear them first, because they're mostly innocent. Valve actually said out loud that this costs more than they planned. They called it a strange time to launch hardware, and said the price reflects the state of the manufacturing industry right now. Reports before launch pegged the price they were aiming for at around $750. And there's a reason Valve can't just eat the extra cost the way Sony or Nintendo do. When PlayStation sells you a console at a loss, it makes the money back later on games. Valve can't count on that because the Steam machine is really just a PC. You could buy one, wipe it, install Windows, and never spend another cent in their store. So they have to charge you enough upfront to break even. They don't have a choice. Which means the $300 came from somewhere else. It came from the memory. So why did memory get so expensive? There's a global shortage, but the strange part is that it's not a real shortage. Nothing blew up, no factory burned down. The world can make plenty of memory. The companies that make it just decided to make less of the kind that goes in your computer. There are basically 3 that matter: Samsung, SK Hynix, and Micron. Over the last year, they quietly shifted their factories away from the cheap memory that goes in laptops and gaming PCs toward a special, expensive kind that goes into AI data centers. The margins on the AI stuff are enormous, so that's where they pointed everything. And it's close to a zero-sum trade. There's a rule people in the industry actually use. Roughly, for every 1 chip of AI memory they choose to make, they give up making about 3 chips of normal memory. So as the data centers got fed, the regular market got starved. Prices for the leftover supply went straight up. That's the $400 RAM kit. That's your $300. Now the real question: who told the factories to do that? The first name on the list is Sam Altman. Last October, OpenAI signed agreements with Samsung and SK Hynix to buy a staggering amount of memory for its giant data center project, Stargate. The number that got reported was up to 900,000 memory wafers a month. That works out to somewhere around 40% of the entire world's memory supply, spoken for by a single company. And the detail that makes people's blood boil is this: those were largely non-binding letters of intent. So OpenAI effectively reserved close to half the planet's memory without firmly committing to buy any particular amount of it. Just the signal was enough. The factories saw the biggest buyer in the world reaching for everything, and they reacted. Prices jumped. Epic's CEO Tim Sweeney said it about as plainly as anyone. The factories are sending their best memory capacity to AI because data centers are bidding far higher than the people who make consumer devices. The gamer was never going to win a bidding war against OpenAI. In fairness, OpenAI's side of this is that the demand is real. They genuinely believe the world is going to need this much AI compute, and they're trying to lock in supply before everyone else does. It's a bet, not a robbery. Hold that thought, because it matters later. Altman didn't make the memory companies do anything. They made a choice. Samsung, SK Hynix, and Micron looked at the AI gold rush and decided the gamer building a PC simply wasn't worth as much as the data center. The clearest proof: Micron, one of the biggest memory makers on earth, shut down its consumer RAM brand Crucial after decades. Crucial was the brand normal people bought when they wanted to upgrade their PC. Gone, folded into the AI business. That wasn't a shortage forcing their hand. That was a company telling you in the clearest way possible where you rank. And it isn't just OpenAI. That's the part people miss. Google, Amazon, Microsoft, and Meta all went to the same suppliers and placed open-ended orders. Basically, we'll take as much as you can make, at whatever it costs. When the 4 or 5 richest companies in history all say that at the same time about the same limited supply, there is simply nothing left over for the person who just wants to build a gaming rig. You weren't outbid by one company. You were outbid by an entire industry that has more money than you can imagine, all chasing the same chips at once. Now, the strange part: around March, some cracks showed OpenAI walked away from a big planned expansion of Stargate. It shut down Sora, its AI video app, which had reportedly been burning through money. And right around then, memory prices actually started to cool off a little. One analyst put the obvious thought into words. Maybe a chunk of this shortage was never about real here and now demand. Maybe it was built on promises and projections. Companies racing to reserve supply for AI plans that hadn't fully arrived yet and might not arrive at all. Think about what that means for you. You may have paid an extra $300 on a gaming machine to help cover an AI building boom that's already quietly being scaled back. Not because the AI got built and you benefited, because everyone agreed in advance that it would, and the prices moved before the reality did. I'm not telling you the whole thing is a bubble. Nobody knows that yet. But the next time someone tells you these prices are just supply and demand, remember that for a few months there, the demand might have been mostly a rumor. So, who's to blame for your $1,000 Steam machine? It's not really Valve. They wanted to charge you less. It's the AI gold rush. Sam Altman lit the match with a deal that reached for half the world's memory. The memory companies poured the gas because the data centers pay better than you do. And every other tech giant fanned the flames at the same time. And the person standing at the end of all of it, holding the bill, is you. Somebody who just wanted to play games on the couch. That's the thing worth remembering. The most expensive living room machine in years isn't expensive because of what's inside it. It's expensive because of what's being built somewhere far away, in a warehouse full of chips you'll never see, that you somehow ended up paying for.